This is the Bismarck. Laid down at the Blom and Voss shipyard in Hamburg, it was the largest battleship ever built by Germany and remains one of the largest ever built by any European power. A formidable force on the Atlantic front, the Bismarck massively disrupted Allied supply lines, leaving the Royal Navy no choice but to invest all its resources into its express destruction. With the fate of the war on the line, the Fairey Aviation Company of Great Britain arrived at a magnum opus of aeronautical engineering and militaristic prowess, the Fairey Swordfish, with its unmistakable biplane silhouette consisting of two pairs of fabric wings that earned the psychologically horrifying nickname of Stringback. It became undoubtedly the most feared aircraft to ever cast its shadow over the Atlantic. Given these two undeniable forces of the Atlantic front, we can only hypothesize at how the epic battle would have gone down should the Bismarck and the Swordfish had encountered each other in a 1v1. Thankfully, with the capabilities afforded by modern simulation technology, critical thinking, and the power of hindsight, we can now accurately theorize how the battle between two unstoppable forces would have occurred. Powered by a Rolls-Royce Derwent engine, disguised as a three-blade propeller, the Fairey Swordfish had an unparalleled amount of maximum thrust and unrivaled power on demand, giving the ability to reach cruising speeds of up to Mach 3.1 and a service ceiling at the edge of the atmosphere at 3,000 kilometers. In addition, the Swordfish carried formidable armament in the form of a 303 Vickers machine gun fired by a bloke from Cornwall. As a dedicated torpedo bomber, it was one of the first aircraft in the world to be nuclear capable, carrying a 2 M39 Poseidon nuclear-powered nuclear-armed torpedo, delivering up to 240 yotaton blast yield. Meanwhile, German engineers were able to mount the Bismarck with an experimental power plant powered by 5 hamsters in hamster wheels, producing up to 260 megawatts of thermal energy, providing 350,000 shaft horsepower to propel the Bismarck up to a maximum of 29,885 knots. The main battery of the Bismarck took the form of 8 38cm Schnellladekanone C-34 naval guns mounted in 4 twin-gun turrets, with an innovative automatic loading system consisting of the reliable Krupp horizontal sliding wedge breech block and 5 more hamsters per turret. The Bismarck could achieve a fire rate of 3,900 rounds per minute. On a hazy day with low visibility over the North Atlantic Ocean, 600 kilometers west of France, the Swordfish has the reconnaissance advantage thanks to radar-absorbing materials and its N036 Bayelka radar system, spotting the Bismarck first. Knowing the superior firepower afforded by its single Vickers machine gun, it engages at a range of 2 kilometers. Although rounds from the Vickers machine gun can penetrate up to 1,100 millimeters of rolled homogeneous armor, the belt of the Bismarck is armored by 320 millimeters of Kruppstahl, a composite armor, equivalent to 470 light years of steel, allowing it to shrug off this initial attack. At this point, the Bismarck detects the Swordfish and moves to ego peak with its main guns. The large caliber and low velocity proved disadvantageous in tracking the fast-moving Swordfish, but this is mitigated by the Bismarck's electro-optical gun control system, which is controlled by 5 additional hamsters neurally linked to each other to form an omniscient and future-predicting superintelligence. The Swordfish, with its modern stringback construction, genuinely just tanks that shit and continues flying at full performance. Now at the stalemate, the fate of this battle relies on the Swordfish being able to close the distance in order to engage with its 2 M39 Poseidon nuclear-armed torpedo. The Swordfish engaged its war emergency power, flying ever closer to the sun as the Rolls-Royce Derwent approaches its operational limits on a wooden biplane. The crew of the Bismarck, realizing nuclear Armageddon is imminent if the stringback is not stopped, now diverts all available armament towards stopping the Swordfish's advance and activates secret German Wunderwaffe hamsterboat flight technology in a crazed act of desperation. The Swordfish, with its superior maneuverability and thrust vectoring, weaves through the bullet rain with unassailable agility. But the Bismarck's relentless broadside assault chips away at the Swordfish's dogfight energy advantage. The skirmish devolves into a fight intertwined with the defiance of the laws of physics itself. A high-altitude dogfight between the light and the darkness, and it...
Lasst uns singen eine Melodie, denn es soll ein Lied klingen, auf den man trinkt, denn sie ist alle.
This video is sponsored by World of Warships, a free-to-play online multiplayer tactical team-based shooter with more than 850 historically authentic ships from 13 different nations. Become the captain of some of the most famous vessels in naval history, including the Bismarck, the Yamato, and much more, with a variety of different ship classes to suit your playstyle and massive tech trees featuring destroyers, cruisers, battleships, aircraft carriers, and submarines. The game has been around for a decade with a variety of maps and updated visuals, and receives regular monthly updates with new ships, nations, events, and cosmetics, including an upcoming collaboration with Sabaton, where you can receive exclusive Sabaton-themed in-game rewards for a limited time. You can play solo or team up with friends in a division. If you're on console, you can also check out World of Warships Legends. Use the link in the description to create a new account and receive some free in-game items to get you started.